I was working harder than ever to just lose money. Life is not about just working and hitting this goal. Life's about living life the way that you want to live it. When we did $1.8 million and we had a team of like 6 to 8 people, bro, it was the best life ever. We went from 17K average deal size to 22K. That took our profit margin from 35% to a crazy 80%. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash is king. All right, guys, so in this training, I'm going to be sharing with you a new system that took my portfolio of wholesale companies from $24,000 a month in profit to $150K per month in profit. And it's called the Profit First system. It's night and day different than any of the other traditional wholesale methods that you might be familiar with because of how it's able to systematically drive profit into your business. So guys, my name is Chandler Saine, and by the age of 23, I built a $3 million per year wholesale business. Since then, I've helped transform over 250 different wholesale operations and now run an extremely profitable portfolio of wholesale and flipping companies across multiple markets, right? And so today, I want to be sharing with you my biggest mistakes that's led me from being on track to do $4 million in 2022 to losing hundreds of thousands, and how I turned it all the way around to take my portfolio from, again, $24,000 a month in profit to $175K in profit in December 2024. So what I want you guys to notice is how my language has changed, right? In 2022, the only thing I cared about was revenue and deals, right? You guys might be there. The only thing you care about is revenue, deals, putting up bigger numbers. But now in 2025, me personally, all I care about is profit. And so here's the uncomfortable truth that no one is talking about. Is for some reason in this industry, everyone only talks about doing more deals and doing more revenue. And it's causing the best operators to have inconsistent monthly cash flow, revenue plateaus despite following proven strategies, shrinking profit margins from unnecessary overhead, working 60 plus hours a week, and operating complex systems that don't scale. Any of you guys watching this right now, can you guys relate to this? So I'll tell you firsthand, I can 100% relate to this because in 2022, I learned my most expensive lesson yet in my life. I was 23 years old, I had a team of 23 to 25 people on my team. My company was on pace to do $4 million that year. Look at this. January, 110, February, 180, March, $250,000, April, $460K in revenue, May, $250K in revenue, June, $300, July, $330. I thought I was living the dream, dude. I traveled multiple countries. I ran multiple marathons. I moved to the nicest apartment in the nicest part of Denver. I was making a ton of money. And the best part was we had another $1 million in the pipeline that was projected to close in the next 60 days. Business was booming, dude. And then there's this one day in July 2022 that everything changed. The market suddenly shifted, buyers dried up, and my bloated operation went into an uncontrollable spiral. In one single week, I watched $1 million worth of signed revenue vanish. Every hedge fund, every local flipper, who we were selling to went on a buying freeze at the same time. And I was stuck holding worthless contracts, even owned a few properties that weren't selling after 30 plus walkthroughs. So literally one of these houses we owned, 56 walkthroughs to sell. We made 5 or 6K. This deal was projected to be an $80,000 deal and the market adjusted, right? So we went from making $100,000 per month in pure profit to hemorrhaging hundreds of thousands of dollars over the next 6 months. August, -70, September, -65, October, -30, November, -30, December, -40. And why'd this happen, you might ask, right? Well, here's why. We were too bloated with unnecessary overhead. We were too slow to adapt to market changes. We were too complex to pivot quickly, and we're too focused on revenue instead of profit. And this was a $1 million lesson or more on why a lean operation matters. And that's when I had my wake-up call. I realized that this is the whole reason I started entrepreneurship, right? But we realized that life was not about doing more deals, right? Life was not about puffing my chest and saying, I had 30 people on my team. Look at me, I'm so cool. No, the reason I started entrepreneurship, my life goal was about generating time freedom, financial freedom, and locational freedom, right? You guys might resonate with this. This is the whole reason that when I was 20 years old, I started entrepreneurship. And sure, yes, I had some of this, but I was working harder than ever just to lose money. I'm sitting in South America for the second half of 2022, literally putting in 80 plus hours per week, waking up at 6 a.m. every day and working till 8 p.m. every day to just lose 50K a month in the second half of 2022. Does that sound like a good return on time? No, clearly that was not the return on time I was looking for. I hated my day-to-day. I knew there had to be a better way. And I knew that deep down, just tweaking the process or tweaking the script was not going to actually result in any meaningful change, which was extremely scary because that meant that I was going to have to do something completely different. But what I realized was, and this is a very obvious thing, right? But doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is actually the definition of insanity. So I was forced to do something radical. I stripped away the last 5 years of industry best practices, threw out all the fancy sales scripts, all the processes, and canceled all the useless marketing channels and focused on one thing, which is profit. And that's when the Profit First system was born. Guys, this is not just another wholesaling strategy. This is a complete paradigm shift that allows me to systematically drive more profit, eliminate unnecessary overhead, run on simple, repeatable systems, maintain 50+% profit margins at scale, and only requires just 20 hours a week of my time. The result, now we're generating $150,000 per month in pure profit across our portfolio. So look, here's August 2024, 40K in marketing, 444 leads, 16 contracts, 4 deals, $67,000 in revenue, 24K in profit. Not a bad month, right? Well, look at December, 35K on marketing. We spent $5,000 less because we got a lot more efficient. 350 leads, 14 contracts, 10 deals, 220 revenue, 175 net profit. All right, so here's some of the numbers just so you guys know. ROI was 1.68 in August, went to 6.2. Cost per lead was the same, about 100, 90 to 100. Cost per contract was 2,500 in both months. Cost per deal went down drastically. We went from 10K to 3,500. Our average deal size went from 16.5 to 22,000. Profit margins went from 35 to 80, right? ROI, we drove ROI. That's all we did. That's all we focused on. It's the most important number in your business. But look, guys, what makes this revolutionary is while everyone is out here chasing more deals, higher revenue, and building bigger teams, I discovered something dangerous. Is the traditional wholesaling advice is actually silently killing real estate businesses across America. Like, look, this is the things that I heard. This is the things that I subscribe to is, you need 5+ marketing channels. You need to spend more until you get a return. Go nationwide. Stay local, actually. Use an AI seller list. Do land deals. Just hire more salespeople. And the advice goes on and on and on. But this outdated advice forced me to bloat my team unnecessarily, burn money on non-performing marketing, chase the wrong markets, build increasingly complex systems, and work longer hours for less profit. Following this old advice, I always felt like I was right on the edge of breaking through. I was right on the edge of becoming profitable. But because I was just relying on a handful of deals to make me profitable, I just never actually achieved the profitability that I wanted. Not consistently, at least. And even despite doing more deals than ever, my profit didn't grow. And when the market shifted, it actually nearly destroyed everything I built, right? So that is a very brutal way to get here. But on the bright side, I've learned a lot of lessons throughout this experience, right? Scars come with wisdom, right? And so this allowed me to build the profit first system. And what I want you guys to remember throughout this entire conversation is that simple scales and fancy fails. The profit first system is a plug and play model that works in any market because it focuses on what really matters. Building a lean, profitable operation that serves your life, not the other way around. And unlike the traditional wholesale model that collapses under pressure, this system is designed to thrive in any market. And that's how we're generating $150,000 in pure profit across our portfolio. And so the best part is that this system runs like clockwork, right? So I've had the time freedom to travel all across the world, do any hobby you can name, and build true cash flow, not just revenue. Before I talk into how does this all work, there's one more idea I want you guys to listen to and to understand fully, right? Because in January 2023, I wrote down every single one of my best memories from 2022. I traveled a ton this year, right? I probably took 140 flights. I went to tons of different countries. I traveled all the time. I had great times with my friends. I also worked a ton. And you guys know I lost a little bit of money that year. And the common theme from my best memories is every single one of them, all the best memories, I was not working and I was having an incredible experience with my friends. Right? That's literally the fundamental truth of all the best things that I've done. It's probably the fundamental truth for things that you're most, you want to do and repeat over and have been your best experiences as well, right? And in this year, I spoke on stage for people like Ryan Pineda. I won awards at some of the biggest masterminds in the space. Yeah, dude, I'm 23 years old running a $3 million a year business. Like on the outside, I look like I'm crushing it, but I didn't really love my life. I didn't feel fulfilled. And that's because before the first system, I spent 95% of my time working and 5% of my time building life experiences. And when you say it like this, that's obviously completely flawed, right? It's like, no duh, like the 80-20 rule. If you spend 80% of your time doing shit that doesn't produce an outcome, what are you doing? So most of the things I was doing was not optimizing my life for happiness and to be fulfilled. I was serving my business. And so no wonder I hated my business because I didn't feel fulfilled in life. My life was literally there to serve my business. And that's why I built the profit first system, because I wanted to be able to work when I wanted to work. And I want to make a lot of money while doing it so I can live life the way that I wanted to on my terms. And so for me now, it's pretty simple, right? If it snows a foot on Wednesday, I'm going to take the day off. I'm going to go ski, because who gets to go ski on Wednesday? Fresh powder? People who control their life. And for me, if my friends invite me on a last minute international trip, I just book the ticket and go. That's why literally in 2 days, I'm going to fly to Mexico to climb a mountain. It's just a great thing to do. Like, why can't I have that flexibility to take a couple of days off and go do it? But the reason I can do it is because I built a business now that serves my life. So for you, what does it even look like to have a business that serves your life? What does enjoying your money actually look like, right? I want you to think about these things, because maybe it's going on multiple luxury vacations a year. Maybe it's golfing 7 days a week. Maybe it's just having more quality times with your friends and with your family. Or it's just having a business that makes the kind of money that allows you never to have to look at price tags again. Look, whatever it is for you, the profit first system is designed to maximize both your financial and time freedom. And so here's how it works. So first off, your team could kill you. And so I want to tell you guys a story about when I lost that $1 million, right? So you guys remember when I told you I lost that in a single week? What I didn't mention was how having 23 to 25, whatever employees it was, made everything substantially worse. So look, don't get me wrong. I loved my team. I love having talented people who help me drive the vision of my company, because at the end of the day, it's crucial for your long-term success. You can't do it alone. But there is a dangerous trap that no one talks about, is we grew by getting bigger, not better. So instead of optimizing our operations in conversions, we just kept adding people to do more deals, right? And each new hire meant another person to train, another layer of management, another salary eating into profits, and another set of systems to build. And it created a mess because we grew too quick. So simple tasks became super complex, right? So like, for example, I cannot believe this, and admitting it is quite painful, but we lost the EMD a few times because contracts just didn't get canceled in time. We didn't have a system for it. Super simple communication. We just dropped the ball. Sellers wouldn't get called back because the new acquisition hire was being lazy, or deals would fall through because we had new Dispo people and they didn't know how to convert complicated deals, right? And so when the market turned, all this overhead, all this complexity nearly sank us because our break even was 170 to 180K a month. Now we were doing legit numbers, but damn, that's a heavy burden to front every month. And finally, mid 2023, I realized that I built a business that focused on revenue and not profit. Because what I wanted from life, and like this, we already mentioned this, but the thing that I realized, and this is why I wasn't fulfilled, is because I wasn't living life in accordance to what I wanted. I wanted time freedom, I wanted money freedom, and I wanted freedom of location. So this forced me to rebuild everything from scratch. And after working with 250 different operations and learning from my own expensive mistakes, I discovered one of the most important pillars to Profit First system is your team structure and how it impacts profit margins almost more than anything else. But it's a little bit different. It's not in the way you might think, right? Through implementing this Profit First system across multiple markets, we developed 3 distinct operational models that allow us to maximize profit, but also sustainable growth. And look, it took me 4 years and a lot of money to figure this out, but now it's a science. So here's what we got. There's 3 core models, and you have to go through each one to get to the next one, right? So you have the solo empire, the strategic scale, and the freedom builder. The freedom builder is probably where a lot of you guys want to get to. And personally, this is my favorite business to run. It allows you to have full control of your life, right? Focus on multiple ventures, do whatever you want to do, be the true visionary, the true CEO you want to be. A lot of you guys are probably in the solo empire or between the strategic sale somewhere in here, and you're looking to get the freedom builder, or you're in freedom builder and you're trying to maximize your profitability, right? But the reason this is so awesome and the reason I love it so much, and this is the model I teach my clients, is because you have to go through the solo empire and optimize it before moving to the strategic scale. Because if you're not profitable here, then you for sure will not be profitable here. And if you're not profitable at freedom builders, because you got to go back and make sure the strategic scale model is set up the right way so you can become freedom builder model. Because if you don't get the foundation right, when you scale up, it's going to crack. And that's what happens. And it took a long time and a lot of cracking and a lot of breaking the foundation to figure out how this process works. So solo empire, team of 1 to 3. Your profit margins need to be 70+%. This is bestly set up in a way like it's very highly automated with lean systems. So it's going to be a very simple system. It's best for people who want to be hands-on operators and just to enjoy direct involvement in producing revenue and doing deals, all that kind of stuff, right? Deal junkies, so to say, or hustlers, right? You get that hustler mentality. It's where a lot of people are at right now. The focus is maximum profit and minimum complexity, right? You're making money, you're stacking cash in this model. When you stack a ton of cash and you're ready to move on to the next level, that's when we start to scale, right? It's when we start to buy our time back because we have the cash, we have the bankroll, we're not gonna be making short-term decisions. Strategic scale, team size 3 to 5 people. You've added a couple support staff to your team, profit margin 60 to 70%. And this is really gives you the balance of, it's kind of set up with the balance of automation and human touch, right? So you're still in there like helping produce revenue, but you got a lot of support players in there who help you automate things and leverage your time out. And this is gonna be best for people who are seeking sustainable growth and making sure your foundation is profitable and set up the right way, right? You're still building the business, still figuring out how to do it at a really high level. And it's focused on optimizing the systems so we can have controlled scaling. Once you've got here, you've got the fundamentals set up, you've got a really good support staff around you. Now you're ready to move to the freedom builder model, which is going to be where you can become the true CEO. 5 to 8 members on your team. I think there's a great amount of people because it's not too complex and they're all high level A players. So you don't have to really manage them that much. You have high profit margins, 40 to 60%. The operational structure is set up as a fully systematic approach where you have people doing all the day to day. You're just there to make high level decisions, high impact decisions to support your team. Your job is to support the team and help them grow, right? This is best for people who are, maybe building multiple ventures. They're visionaries. They want to spend time with their family. Basically people who want to work 20 hours a week kind of thing and be able to just have their business working and be there when they're needed, right? And obviously you're helping grow it, right? It's your whole job. You're the CEO. Plus the focus is going to be really around building more of a time freedom model without sacrificing profitability. So the thing that makes this approach a little bit different is it's very black and white on who to hire and when to do so, right? So I learned this the hard way is that adding more people does not solve the problem. It usually creates more, especially if you hire the wrong person. And so each hire is not just going to impact your payroll. It adds management complexity. It increases communication challenges and actually just slows down your operation. That's why we have to have the right person. in the right seat. You have to have the right person in the right seat. I want to say that again, because if you don't have the right person in the right seat, then your business will not be nearly as efficient or profitable as it is. So I want you to think about it right now. It's like, is there someone that you have on your team that's just the wrong person in the wrong seat, or the wrong person that's dragging the business down? Or it's the right person, but they're in the wrong seat and they're not maximizing profitability for you. The point is, if you get this right and you get the model right, then each of these models is specifically built to maximize profit at each particular scale. So if you have the right foundation, then you can move on to the next level. And look, we're not just here to throw bodies at the problem. We're strategically building lean operations with just the right number of key players to maintain strong margins even as we grow. And so before I show you these business models, I want you to understand something critical. If you're struggling with profitability right now, it's for probably one of these reasons. One, you've scaled too quickly, rushing through the growth stages before mastering them. Two, you've got the wrong people in critical roles. Three, you're caught between two different operating models, forcing you to handle tasks that should have been delegated. Four, you're overpaying team members, which is strangling your company's growth. Or five, you're exactly where I was and just trapped in the rat race of chasing deals and revenue instead of engineering real profit. And so look, these aren't theories. These are the exact profit killers I've seen destroy hundreds of operations, including my own. So the first step to fixing any issue is just understanding what's the problem and how to go about it. So let's go through each model. So solo empire model, basically to walk you guys through this. And if you're past this, like bear with me, there's going to be a ton more value on how to set up your business the right way. And all the other parts of the business is going to help you grow profit, not revenue. But as a solo empire builder, you're going to be the CEO, the main driver of revenue. You're going to have an executive assistant. I think this is a bare minimum necessity for anyone. If I'm doing 10K a month in revenue, I got an EA because it's going to make my life so much easier. I got 1 to 2 inbound marketing channels that are proven, keeping it super simple here. I got 1 follow-up specialist to do all my follow-up to automate that so I can just focus on the highest level tasks to close deals. I'm doing all the Dispo TC, and then I got a bookkeeper on the finance side to make sure that I know my dollar in, dollar out. Because look, guys, if you don't know this, then you're just guessing. If you don't know exactly how much you spend in your CRM, exactly how much you spend on marketing, exactly how much you spend on your cold callers, exactly how much labor you're spending, exactly how much commissions you're paying, all these different things, you don't know that, or at least can pull it up and be close, whatever level you're at. There's going to be a lot of gaps in your profitability. And if you don't look at your profitability every month and make a habit out of it, do you think that by not looking at it, by avoiding looking at your bank account because it's painful, by avoiding looking at your P&L because it's painful, do you think not addressing that pain is going to help you get to where you want to go? No, of course not. You got to do it even if it sucks, because the only way to fix it is to look at it. And at this solo empire bit model, where you're going to kind of be revenue wise, is going to be 30 to 80K. You're going to be doing 1 to 3 deals a month. Your expenses are going to be 3 to 15K, right? It's going to be mostly marketing spend. Is going to be where most of your expenses are coming from here. Once you've maximized this profitability and you're above 70%, you can start to move on to the strategic scale model, which is where we're going to add a couple more people who are going to be supporting you and driving more profit to the business, right? So you're still the CEO, still got your EA, you still got 1 to 2 marketing channels that are inbound. Again, just to clarify it, solo empire model, you got 1 marketing channel, not 2. 1 marketing channel that's inbound. At strategic scale model, you have maybe considered, if you're between like around 8 to 10K in marketing on one of your channels, maybe you consider adding a second one, but you're still at 1 inbound channel, maybe 2. Keep less is more in this. You want to scale what's working, not add something that maybe doesn't work. And I'll talk about that later of how that's crushing your profit margins, because there's a little chart down on how people spend the wrong 6K, how they spend 6K in marketing the wrong way, and how it actually loses them. I think it's like $15,000 a month is basically what the number came out for me. On the sales side, it's going to be 1 to 2 acquisition managers who are commission only. You're going to have your follow-up specialist. You're going to then add a Dispo admin here. And this is going to really allow you to leverage yourself in the back end so you can just keep deals moving. You're in the position where you're only talking to buyers who are interested in buying the property, and you're negotiating, right? You get your bookkeeper at that point. So in the strategic scale model, you're going to be doing about 60 to 120 a month, 3 to 6 deals per month. And your expenses monthly, you're going to be 12 to 50K. This is basically the gist. Once you get here and you're around 60+% profit margins, you're able to move on to the freedom builder, because this is when we're going to really fully delegate you from the day to day and get you bought out of the business. And now you're just making the highest level decisions, right? So you're the CEO, still with your EA. You got, at this point, you probably have 2 inbound marketing channels that are really good inbound performing marketing channels. In your sales team, you got 2 to 3 acquisition managers, 1 to 3 follow-up specialists that are overseas, not expensive. Dispo TC, you got this fully delegated. So you got a Dispo rep, you got a TC. This TC might just be a pay at close TC, so you don't have to front, all this overhead, all this payroll, stuff like that. And you have your Dispo admin and your bookkeeper. And this is literally the legitimate bare bones of what you need. Everything else after this is just fluff. So the whole point of this is you're trying to likely build something like this, where you're the CEO of the business. But in order to get there, you have to go through each stage, right? And so it's very important to build the business the right way with the right team, because otherwise profitability is going to suffer, right? So before implementing these business models, I honestly thought I could just kind of scale out of any of my problems by hiring more people, by spending more on marketing. And for whatever reason, profitability would naturally fix itself. That did not happen. In reality, all that mindset did for me was just inflate my overhead and make my business more vulnerable. And so the real power of the profit first model is it allows for flexibility because you can choose any model that best aligns with your personal and business goals using the key principles that simple scales and complex fails. So using these models, I've stripped away everything that does not directly contribute to profit, right? So there's no unnecessary hires, no complex management structures, and no bloated overhead. Just a business that gives me freedom, a business that is lean and efficient, that can weather any market shift, any down month in sales, and still deliver industry-leading profit margins, regardless of which path that you choose. So if you've already heard enough information, you want to work one-on-one with us to install the profit source system inside of your business, I recommend just going down below this video and booking a call to speak with our team now. We're only looking to work with established operators who are focused on driving profit and building lean companies that serve their lifestyle and goals, right? So if that's you, go below this video, it's not a call. We're having a conversation here, and book a call with our team to where we can talk about installing the profit first system for you, right? So for those of you who do need a little bit more information, let me explain why I believe the profit first system is to be the most effective and streamlined way to massively increase profitability and simplicity in your business. And I'm going to show you this and how it leverages a new marketing channel, because look, the brutal truth about wholesaling in 2025 is most people are bleeding money across multiple marketing channels. And I'm going to show you why focusing on one or two max is going to make you more profitable in the long run. So let me prove it to you. Right now, it costs us $3,500 to close a deal, with our average deal size being 21,903, so 22K average deal size. We get a 6.2x ROI on our marketing. And to be honest, this did not happen by accident. It was relentless focus on a limited number of marketing channels to reduce the complexity, focus on simplicity, and to reduce the waste in the business. And so here's where most investors are killing their profit margins, right? So bear with me. This scenario is very simple. It's probably where a lot of you guys are around. And if you're even spending a little bit more than this on marketing, it relates to you as well, even if you're spending 20, 30, 40K a month. So look, I'm a wholesaler or a flipper, and I currently am spending $3,000 per month on marketing with my cold calling channel, right? So I'm getting $3,000 a month to cold calling, and I'm currently getting a 7x ROI. That's pretty great. I'm spending 3K, I'm making 7 times that. That's awesome. I want to personally expand my budget to 6K a month because I'm just having success and I want to invest in the business, right? That's probably a lot of you guys are at. It's probably what you're thinking. Here's what most people do wrong, right? And I want you to not think about the lead channels themselves, but more about how the money is distributed. So this is how most people spend that $6,000. $3,000 on cold calling, $1,500 on PPL, and $1,500 on Facebook ads. They'd split it all apart because they heard at a mastermind, oh, PPL crushes for me. They heard on a YouTube video, Facebook ads is the new thing. They saw an ad that said this. And what happened was they got away from business fundamentals and they started splitting their money apart. Because here's the painful truth about spending your marketing money like this. So, all right, let's say my marketing money, I'm spending 3K on cold call. I have a known ROI of 7x. So I'm making $21,000 revenue, 18K profit. That's great. That's really great. But now on PPL and Facebook ads, I'm spending $1,500 a month on each. Neither one have a proven ROI, both unknown. So I have to assume zero, right? I have to assume that money's a test. So I'm making $0 in revenue, negative $1,500 for each of these in profit, which leaves me with a total marketing spend of 6K. It leaves me with a known ROI of 3.5x, projected revenue 21,000, and a projected profit of 15K. So I only have 15K in total profit from spending 6K. So a lot of people are like, oh, I doubled my marketing spend and I didn't make more money. I just burned more. I made less. And so the flaw is most people spend that extra $3,000 a month on testing new marketing, which provides an unknown return. They're just hoping that it makes some money, but have no idea if it will or not. So you might get lucky. Sure. Yeah, you could. But what happens to most people is you just end up getting stuck for 3 to 6 months, spinning your wheels while your profit's shrinking. And because most people spread their budgets so thin, it creates this natural phenomenon where CEOs are just jumping from channel to channel, never giving a single channel enough fuel to actually work. So see it all the time. Cold calling doesn't work. Facebook ads are dead. Direct mail is too expensive. You might be saying this yourself. You might have said it in the past. But here's the reality, is every channel works if you stick with it. The problem isn't the channel, it's the scattered approach that never lets you optimize anything. So remember that $6,000 from earlier, right? How I said that it was spent incorrectly. So here's how it really should be spent. If you really went down with business fundamentals, you have a 7x on cold calling. You just go from 3,000 to 6,000 on cold calling. You have a known ROI of 7x, which projects you $42,000 in revenue and makes you $36,000 in profit. Interesting. So look, in this scenario, we have $36,000 in total profit, which when you compare it to the last situation, by just doubling down instead of spreading our marketing thin, by doubling down, I make $21,000 more net profit in this scenario. And you see the difference is that I'm not jumping between channels. I'm not spreading myself too thin. I'm going all in on what works. And I always go back to the fundamentals. Now, yes, of course, at a certain point, you do have to decide when to kill a marketing channel that's not performing. It's a bit different, but most people just need to follow the more, better, new framework. Do more of what works. And when that stops, do it better. And when doing it better stops working, do new, right? So if you don't follow this framework, then you're going to skip around and you're going to end up wasting a lot of money. So now, of course, don't get me wrong, are there some channels that are superior to others? Yeah, of course, right? Especially if your goal is to focus on building a lean, profitable team that you ultimately want to keep highly profitable and have low risk on. And so I'll talk a little bit about this later and like what channels are working really well for us that are producing us actually 9.9x ROI. The truth about the most profitable wholesale operations that I've built and consulted, the ones that are consistently pulling in $100,000 per month with 50+% profit margins, all have one thing in common. These guys dominate 1 to 2 high quality inbound marketing channels, and that's it. So look, here's one of my clients' data, just only 2 channels, 168 deals, 796K in marketing, 3.1 million in revenue, direct mail and PPC. Crazy. 2 channels. That's just proof is in the pudding, right? And so as of right now, what I do want to show you guys is there is a new marketing channel that's producing us massively outsized returns on our marketing spend and driving more profit into our business than any other channel. And it's a channel that has truly very little adoption, almost no competition. And we've been using it to get a 6 to 10x ROI during the second half of 2024. So before I dive into this, something I want to preface to you guys is in marketing, when everyone is zigging to one direction, you need to zag. Because where there is less competition, you will always see outsized returns. And that's why I study the industry a ton to understand what are the trends, what's the current herd mentality. Because look, guys, if all 50,000 wholesalers are moving to direct mail, Facebook, PPC, and PPL, what do you think is going to happen to those channels? If you think that they're going to get more saturated, more competitive, then you're right. Lead costs are going to go up and ROI will go down. So let me paint you a picture of what's happening right now in wholesale marketing, because marketing agencies right now on Facebook are just running the same tired Facebook ads that sellers have seen a million times. Everyone's cold calling and mailing the exact same list. PPO providers are charging premiums for just recycled leads, right? That they're just marking up and trying to make a spread. And unless you've got 30K a month to burn monthly, PPC is a losing game because the big players have locked down these channels and they're just happy to watch you bleed cash to try to compete. But what if I told you that we're using something a little bit different? A marketing channel that allows us to maximize our profit with minimal competition. And so we're leveraging a platform that's delivering us exclusive, motivated seller leads directly into our inbox every day. What we've been using is YouTube ads. And so here's the stats from a few markets. So I want to show you Pennsylvania, Delaware. Again, these stats are during election and during winter. So we spent just under 15K. We got 190 leads, 96 appointments, 11 contracts. 1 deal sold so far because a lot are under contract to sale and they're projected. But we have 32K in revenue, 180 projected. That's 11.1x ROI. Gives us a 17.4 lead to contract ratio with a cost per contract of $1,350. That's insane. That's really, 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 really good. And so here's our stats in Dallas, Texas, and Ohio, other competitive markets. Again, during election year, 17K on ads, 165 leads, 11 contracts, 5 deals sold, so 108 in revenue and 60K projected, giving us 8.8 return. And that's a $1,500 cost per contract. Cost per contract for $1,500 and $1,300 is absolutely out of this world insane. So that's why we're going all in on YouTube, because it truly limits our downside risk. Because our cost per contract is so low that even during slow months or scaling periods, we're still able to produce an incredible ROI. And just to prove it to you that we do know what we're doing, we spent over 2.9 million on YouTube ads to generate over 29,000 motivated seller leads. So we've actually figured out how to target sellers who really want to sell and are actually motivated, rather than just tire kickers looking to see what their house is worth. So you can see 2.9 million and 29, almost 30,000 seller leads. So pretty good amount. We've done this a lot, but here's why YouTube works really well. So look, there's a few reasons. The first reason is people go to YouTube to pay attention for 5 minutes or more, right? It's a very intentional audience. Think about it. When's the last time you've gone to YouTube and like watched a video with the sound off, not paid attention, whatever it might be, right? You go to YouTube and you're there to hang out for a little bit, to watch a comedy special, to watch whatever it might be. It's an intentional audience. You're there to pay attention. So video ads work really well. Plus, on top of this, the YouTube platform actually only charges you for a 30-second view of the ad. So you're not paying for people to just fake watch your ad. You're only paying for people who actually are interested in selling for a reason, right? And so that leads right into the third point, which is why we create hyper-targeted ads that only speak to sellers who have some form of motivation, right? So if you say, hey, if you recently inherited a property in Denver, Colorado, and you're not sure what to do with it, you should probably listen to this video. If you say something along those lines, do you think that people who don't own a property are going to like watch the first 30 seconds of the video? No, they're going to skip it, right? So that's what allows us to keep our cost per click. Instead of it being like $30, like on PPC, it's like $1 or $2 on YouTube. And then these guys are volunteering to give us their contact info as they fill out a detailed property questionnaire. We then feed that qualified lead data back to YouTube. And then YouTube just puts their hyper-targeted ads in front of more motivated sellers over time. And so where it gets interesting, and this is what one of the other reasons why I think YouTube is fantastic, is that it's actually the second largest search engine in the world behind Google. And so YouTube ads are actually run off the Google platform, in case you didn't know that. So we're essentially able to get PPC quality leads that are super high intent, but just for the fraction of the cost. And so YouTube ads, in my opinion, are a blue ocean in the real estate right now, because everyone is zigging away from cold calling SMS to mail, Facebook, PPC, PPL. And while they're doing that, I'm zagging and going to YouTube. And so here, just to show you guys this website visitors, Google had 25 million visitors, YouTube, 12 million visitors, and Facebook, 2.5 million visitors. So just looking at this right off the bat, without going into anything deep, Google, we all know that PPC is competitive. All the big players use it. It's really hard to break in, right? Facebook, tons of people use it, a lot less visitors. YouTube, almost no one uses it, and it's a ton of visitors every single month, right? It's pretty crazy. So that's why I believe in YouTube just so much, right? So yeah, Google has a lot of competition. Everyone uses it, right? The big PPL companies, every big home buyer with $100,000 a month budget. And so you're actually going to battle when you're doing PPC, you're going to battle against the best of the best every day, because these guys have deep pockets, man. And they're really good. The only reason they got there is because they're really good, right? And so the other option is Facebook, which has a lot of smaller guys doing lead gen on the platform. But the total number of visitors to Facebook is 5 times smaller than YouTube. So it's still a lot harder to compete on the platform, right? Of course, these channels do work. Yes, right? They do work. But when I'm doing business, I want an unfair advantage. And based on simple supply and demand economics, I personally believe that YouTube ads will outperform almost any of the other marketing channels over the next 12 to 18 months. So let me explain. I'm going to use a supply demand chart to show you this. And before your eyes glaze over, it's super simple. For the sake of this situation, the supply chart, so like when I look at the line on the supply chart, that's going to be the ad space on the platform, which is going to stay the same, right? The total number of ads that are for sale on a platform, the supply is the same. But the number that we can change and the market will change is the demand to buy the ad space up. Therefore, if an increase of number of wholesalers who are generating leads on a platform, it means the demand gets higher as the amount of wholesalers generating leads on a platform increase, which just means the ROI is going to lower. So this first chart is basically what the current marketing landscape looks like, where you can see that like equilibrium in the market is pretty much already reached, right? Wholesalers are not going to buy leads if they can't generate at least a 3 to 4, maybe 4x ROI at the bare minimum. So look, supply line right here, as this red line goes up, you can see ROI diminishes. And you can see the number of wholesalers, as this goes up, it goes up the supply line and ROI diminishes. So our equilibrium is around that 3 to 4x point right now. Now, if we go to the YouTube equilibrium supply demand chart, it's looking a lot more untapped. And this is why I think we're able to get such a crazy ROI right now. So look at this. Right now, our equilibrium, and again, I showed you our numbers of 11x and a 9.8x or something like that. Crazy, right? It's pretty solid. So equilibrium is around 8 to 10x ROI because there's not that many wholesalers are generating on the platform and there's a lot more supply. And so it works really well. But as an expert marketer, my job is to find places in the market where there's no or very little competition. But there's also tons of motivated sellers. And that's how I will get crazy outsized returns compared to most people. And truly, no matter what business it is, no matter what business I buy, no matter what business I acquire, my job is to find the blue ocean where there's an unfair marketing advantage. And when you combine a great platform with a great lead gen strategy, and then you add in a person who knows how to convert leads into deals, you create an insanely profitable business. So, however, this is crucial. Just want to iterate this over the next couple of lines, is YouTube is just one piece of the puzzle. And we do actually use other marketing channels, but the real power of the profit first system is that it works with any marketing channel as long as it produces a 5x ROI or higher. So right now we're doing cold calling, Facebook, PPL, pre-foreclosures, PPC, direct mail, and of course, YouTube. So whether you're already crushing it with cold call, dominating with direct mail, or ready just to explore something new, our system is designed to amplify what works right now for you and your business. Because when working with us, we're going to look under the hood of your entire operation, right? What's working, what isn't, where's the untapped opportunities? And then we're going to build a custom marketing strategy that just makes sense for your specific market and for your business styles. And this leads us right into the next point. So now that we got really good leads flooding the system, we got to make sure that they don't actually slip through the cracks, right? And so when we were stuck at $100,000 per month, I became obsessed with finding these hidden profits, right? So I spent an entire quarter actually trying to solve this with technology. I tested every single major CRM. I built endless automations. I created tons of complex dashboards and analyzed thousands of dead leads, right? The result of this is our profit actually stayed the exact same. And it just made all this stuff more complicated because I realized that 80% of all the fancy systems I was trying to implement were just a pure waste. Where our profit actually went up was when we simplified everything, right? And so I'll talk about that in just a second. But after burning tons of hours testing all the different CRM platforms like Salesforce, RE Simply, InvestorFuse, and 10 different Podio builds, I discovered that to drive profit, your business, you just need to look at it like a funnel. And most CRMs actually overcomplicate this because all a CRM needs to do at the end of the day is just needs to give you automated, accurate, profit-focused focused KPI reporting that you could look at any point in time. It needs to give you full visibility into your pipeline so you can see where the best leads are at any point in time and know if your team's letting them slip through the cracks or not. And it needs to follow up with your leads for you, right? With automated follow-up. And because if you have anything that's extra outside of this, it just kind of distracts you from the actual profit drivers in your business, which we all know is tracking KPIs, converting leads through pipeline, and following up with sellers, right? Those are the profit drivers. And so I can prove it to you with one question, right? If I was to ask you, where are the good leads? The leads that are the closest to signing a contract in your CRM, like where are those leads right now? And if you don't know right away, instantly, then your system's too complex. And if you don't know how to track your KPIs, you got to go to 10 different KPI sheets. You got to go to this one, and this one, just to have, basic reporting, then you know your system's too complex and not set up the right way. And since I was in your boat and all the CRMs that I was using were too complex, I built something a little bit different, right? A system that tells me exactly where the good leads are in my system, a system that tracks my profit-focused KPIs automatically and accurately, which is really important. You don't have to guess and double check your admin to see if they inputted it into the sheet right. It just tracks it automatically and it's perfect if your team follows the process. And then you also have a system that follows the leads for me. That's what I built. It's called HQ Flow. And so here's what makes it a bit different, right? The profit-focused KPIs are very, very critical because instead of drowning in vanity metrics, I'm actually able to see the numbers that exactly drive profit, which I'll show you our dashboard in a second. But I'm able to look at things like revenue, conversion rates, and profit margins, all in real time, all focused on bottom line growth. And since these KPIs are tracked automatically, my team has full visibility and can hold themselves accountable to hit their goals, taking a lot of the weight off my shoulders. And so look, here's the dashboard. I can see my new leads, my net leads, my appointments, my offers, my contracts, my closed contracts, and my value of what those won opportunities are, those closed deals are. I can, in a second, change my time period right here on the top right. I can see the total calls placed by person on my team. I can see the call duration by person on my team. I can see the exact stage distribution for where leads are in my pipeline. So I know if there's, maybe a couple leads in negotiations or a couple leads in, cold follow-up or wherever. I know exactly where they're at in that funnel and what percent's converting to what stage. So I can see if my team's doing things the right way. And this really allows me to have a lot more clarity instantly into my business, right? I can make decisions in 30 seconds instead of trying to spend 3 hours to put together a report, which you end up probably just not doing. So this is the most important piece, is just having this automatically done, right? You can make these dashboards look simpler. You can make them custom. You can do whatever you want. But the bottom line is you can see the profit-focused KPIs that are focused on conversions and getting better and not getting bigger. Right. Other thing I have in here is smart lead nurturing. There's going to be built-in text and email automations that basically keep our leads warm, but just without complexity or human power, right? So no more leads falling through the cracks, no more missed opportunities, just automated follow-ups that actually work, right? And so these follow-ups are designed to find the cold leads that are ready to sell when they're ready to sell. That way you have basically inbound messages coming to you. Then you can get on the phone with the leads who won't answer your phone calls. A lot of times new leads come in, they don't answer right away. What do you do with those people? Well, we put them on an automated sequence that gets us in touch with them. Allows you to have more conversations with motivated sellers, which just means you're going to convert more deals. And it means you're going to not have to spend any more money to get those deals, which means it's going to be straight profit, right? So here's an example of what this looks like if we have a little text flow that basically goes if someone doesn't answer, right? And it is a whole long thing, right? But you can just copy paste that. It's already set up in the CRM and you can implement that right into your business. But the best part is not only does it make lead nurturing simpler, but you also have full visibility into the pipelines and have simple steps to convert each lead into a deal, right? So I know where to put leads, right? So if someone tells me, hey, I'm pretty far out, I'm not motivated, high price, not interested, they're a cold follow-up, I'm gonna call them every 30 days. If it's a warm follow-up, I'm gonna call them every 14 days. If it's a hot follow-up, I'm gonna call them every 7 days. So negotiation is expected to be called every day. And so because of this, I have a pipeline process that allows me to easily go and sign extra deals from my pipeline that my team might have missed. And yes, because I'm able to go and save deals, this also does increase profit, right? So if you had the control and the visibility into your team's pipeline, into your pipeline, to know exactly when you should be calling them, to know exactly if they're being managed or not correctly, do you think that's going to drive more profit in your business? I would say, of course, right? And the best part about this is, since if you're probably, in the solo empire or strategic scale model right now, then you're probably driving a lot of the profit in the company, right? You're doing a lot of the acquisitions. And since you have limited time to call, or your team has limited time to call because you want to maximize their ROI and their effectiveness, then, if there's only 2 hours in the day to make calls, for example, right? Then I know that I'm only going to call my hot follow-ups and negotiations, because this is going to be what drives and increases my profit margins by focusing on the best leads most often. So you can see here's kind of how we set up our pipeline: warm follow-up, hot offer follow-up, negotiations, contract sign. I know about 40% of my negotiations are going to come through and become signed contracts, right? So it's very, very easy. And after implementing this across 250 different wholesale operations, it's very clear that we're able to lower cost, have higher conversions, and this ultimately focuses and increases profit, right? So no useless metrics, no complex systems, no tech headaches, just a lean, profit-focused CRM and company, right? The next piece to this is now that we got leads, we got a good system to convert leads. Now we're talking about the boat that we're rowing, right? So there's a good quote. It's about rowing your boat with the current, not against it. And so advice I was given early on in wholesaling was stay in your own backyard and focus on one market. And this is the advice I followed for a few years, right? In Atlanta. And we were just stuck at 6 to 8 deals per month. And no matter how much we increased our marketing spend, nothing changed. It was like rowing a canoe on concrete. All effort, no movement, and a ton of noise, right? It'd be loud. Paddles on concrete, that's loud. A lot of vanity. Then during a run that I was doing, right? I go on runs all the time. I run ultra marathons if you do, sick. But I was running. It was dark outside. And I was thinking, man, what if I just opened up shop in like a smoking hot market? We could probably increase our profit margins and pick up some low-hanging fruit deals. It just felt right whenever I thought it. I don't know why it felt right. I don't know what clicked, but it just clicked. So I narrowed down to 3 markets: Denver, Raleigh-Durham, and Dallas. We chose Metro Dallas because it has a high median sales price, low days on market, and low months of supply. Another piece of this too is like we had people we knew here. Actually just hired a dispo rep in the area. So it made choosing one of these markets really solid, right? So I like Dallas. I think it was great. But our first attempt was not pretty whatsoever. 2 months, 10K in marketing, 47 offers, 0 contracts, trash, right? Now, we were about to pull out of Dallas because we were like 3 months. That's our timeline. If we don't get it, it's over for us. Well, naturally, we struck gold. We landed a $57,000 home run deal in a Dallas suburb. So, being a smart marketer, we decided to double down on that specific zip code we got the deal in. The result was over the next 6 months, we spent a total of $25,000 and closed 6 deals totaling $520K. Every single one of them was a home run. And since I was a system guy, I pretty much wanted to dive into why did that work so freaking well. And here's what I found is it was actually quite simple. The reason Dallas works so well is because it has a high median home price, has a lot of buyer demand, and gentrification is happening everywhere. And so the bottom line is the economics in this market are fantastic. And if you have any questions on what that means, I'll explain it a little bit later. But yes, like this is a more competitive market. It is harder to get a deal. It took us 47 offers to get our first deal. Pretty wild. But the reward is significantly bigger. You can see 6 deals at 520. I think it's like $86,000 per deal. That's definitely a risk worth the reward, right? High upside. Now, that is a really great result. But once I had the success, I was like, man, let's go nationwide. But then I was like, no, going nationwide is not the answer, because if you do 100 markets, your deal size is going to be smaller because you just ultimately never know how to truly value properties. And finding buyers becomes a massive pain. But the other side of it is if you only stay in one market, then you end up capping your profit potential because you just inflate your cost per deal so drastically, and it just becomes very challenging to scale. So I think that there's a sweet spot in between both models where you're in 100 markets and in one market. That's like the perfect model, right? There's a sweet spot in the middle. And the best way to find the middle, in my opinion, is to be very clear for what's working right now for you in your business and your market. Once you know what this is, once you know what's working, you can strategically open not 10, but 1 market at a time to make sure it works, right? So keep it simple, and open 1 market at a time and make sure it works. So later we ran the same play. We knew Dallas and Atlanta worked, right? Dude, we could do this again. So we expanded to North Carolina. We did it successfully. We started to feel the complexities of having a ton of counties and cities to market to. And so we're like, dude, we kind of refine these markets down to only the highest quality areas that produce the highest levels of profit. And so this is when I came up with what I call a deal review, where basically I look at every deal I've done and I apply an ROI to the location that this property is in. And so after I implemented this, here's what I learned in my CRM about the 2 types of leads we have. 2 types, that's all we have, 2 types. We have good location leads and we have bad location leads. Quite simple. The good location leads have a 7x ROI, which were about 70% of our marketing budget focused on those leads. Not bad. Now the bad location leads were 1x ROI, meaning we were losing money after paying our team. And that was 30% of our marketing budget. This is crazy. So every single thing was the same. The marketing sources, the sales process, and even the exit strategies. The only difference was the location of the leads themselves. And for some reason, my team just had a natural bias towards some locations versus others, right? I don't know why. I don't know exactly what it was. Maybe the people, maybe it was the way that things came in. But the point is, we had a natural bias towards some places and we were terrible at others. So do more, better, new framework. We're going to lean into the ones that we're good at. We're going to lean away from the ones we're bad at, right? So I marked each location red, yellow, or green based on ROI. I stopped doing the red ones. I maintained the yellow ones, and I doubled down the green ones. And so here's a picture of one that I did with one of my buddies in Florida who did 220 deals in 2024. And you can see the red ones, ROI is low. It is based on his baseline, right? 4.5x baseline ROI. This is a less than 2x, trash, cut it. Orange, we kind of just like reposition some of the marketing in a specific way based on like what his best lead were. Yellow, we kept the same. And then green, this is where the real money came from, is there's actually some markets we could develop in here, right? So if your average is a 4.5x ROI and you're cutting marketing down here, so you're saving, let's say 5K a month on marketing, 10K a month, it's probably smart to reposition that money into some of these better markets up here that are producing a 30, 19, 13x ROI. It makes logical sense to me. And so that's the whole strategy. Grow your ROI by finding really good places and then spending more marketing there and seeing if it results and continues to be a really good market, right? So that's the whole strategy. And so it's very simple. We are able to now do more marketing in the good areas with super high ROIs and less marketing in the bad areas, super low ROI. And so this is the concept I want you to remember, is everything in business you do is to maximize your ROI and to maximize your profit, right? So I do deals in the best markets that bring me the most profitable deals. And then after I have too many markets, I simplify and reduce the number of markets until I have just a few left that produced outsized returns. But my point still remains exactly the same. It's just do not row your canoe on concrete because you need to be targeting markets with the highest ROI. An example, Dallas, Fort Worth, Atlanta, Raleigh, Durham, Nashville, Charlotte, SoCal, Denver, Delaware County, Chester County. These are all examples of good markets. But just to show you like how I kind of look at this, we have this in-house software that basically allows us to look at good market economics. So here's a market right here. This is what I'm looking for. Low months of inventory. I like the low median days in the market to sell basically, and then a high median home price over 300K. If I have these three pieces, and that's a fantastic mathematical economic market. Obviously, there's other things I'm maybe looking into, like is it homogenous? Is the market exactly what I'm good at in my other markets? Is it street by street? Is there local knowledge I need? Is there anything weird? Can I do my current strategies there? All that kind of stuff. But those are secondary pieces. The primary piece is the economics good. Here's another one. 1.6 months of supply, 32 days median days on market, 500K median on sold price. You guys all know it's easier to make $30,000 on a $300,000 home than it is a $100,000 home. Very simple stuff. So if you're getting a bunch of $100,000 homes in your pipeline, probably a problem. You should probably fix that. And so at the end of the day, my job is to focus my time and efforts on a market that home prices are above 300K and buyer demand is high. And so yes, these markets are competitive. There's no question about it. They are absolutely more competitive. But here's the thing, is you're going to be working hard either way. So would you rather work in a market with a low ceiling and small deals or one with huge upside and big deals? So it's like choosing between selling lemonade in your neighborhood street versus the Mall of America. It's like opening a coffee shop in a small town versus Times Square. It's like fishing in a pond versus fishing in the ocean, right? So yes, these top tier markets have more competition, but the profit first system gives you something your competition doesn't have. It's a lean, efficient operation that can move faster than other bloated operations, operate at higher profit margins due to low overhead, scale without the usual growing pains, capture market share while others are struggling with complexity. And the reality is, in today's virtual world, your physical location is completely irrelevant. What matters is where you choose to do business with and what market you select. Because you can choose to keep grinding in a limited market, or you can deploy your skills, which are probably really good, where they'll generate you maximum returns. And so look, guys, I was on a plane with this guy the other day who sold his company for 9 figures. And I asked him, I said, dude, how do I get to 8 figures a year profit? His answer was simple. Add more leverage. 3 words. It's like, okay, what does that mean, dude? But the difference between a guy who makes 200K a year and a guy who makes $1 million a year is simple. The guy who makes $1 million a year uses his skills in a higher leverage vehicle. And for wholesaling and flipping, that leverage is the market you play in. So if you're sitting there thinking to yourself like, wow, if I did all of this, I would make a lot more money, then I'd recommend going down below and booking a call to speak with our team. While you're doing that, I'm gonna let the rest of you guys in on a little bit of a secret. So this is one statement, is you need to do bigger deals. Now look, this might seem very obvious. You might be like, oh, how do you do this? Look, the point is this is not talked about enough in the industry. Because I feel like everyone accepts a $10,000 deal as just good, right? But in reality, this $10,000 deal is killing your business. Because think about it. If it costs you $5,000 to get a deal and you only have a $10,000, maybe $15,000 deal size after you pay your team and pay commissions and etc., you got no money left over for yourself, man. Like if your marketing right now is not working and your average deal size is under 15K, here's what I'd do if I owned your company. So I'd focus on one thing. The only thing I'm focused on is getting your deal size up to $30,000. Once you do that, just like magic, your current marketing will just poof, start working. And here's why. Look, if I lowered my cost per deal from 5K to 4K, then dude, that's sick. I made an extra $1,000 per deal. But if I increase my average deal size from 15K to 30, I made an extra $15,000 profit per deal. So you tell me, what are you obsessing over? Increasing your average deal size or lowering your cost per deal? I think we all can agree that increasing your average deal size is the right answer, right? So here's an example of me helping Devin go from 7K per deal to $24,000 per deal. He spent less money on marketing, did more revenue, made a lot more profit in a day. So look, right here, you can look, his average deal size was 7K. So look, Q1 2024, $28,000, 4 closings, 7K. Q3 2024, $192,000 and 8 closings, 24K per deal. Like, right? I don't have a calculator in front of me, but I already did the math for you. That is crazy. And he spent a little bit less on marketing and made more money in profit by doing not that many more closings. So it works, and it's way worth it to focus on that in your business than anything else. So if you only get one thing from the entire training, all I want it to be is this. You can instantly double the profit of your business by just selling your deals to different people. It's really actually that simple. So stop selling to fix and flippers and stop selling to cash buyers who need your property at 60 cents on the dollar. They are crushing your profit margins and strangling your business to death. You need to start selling your deals to retail buyers who are willing to pay top dollar for your property. Again, let me reiterate this thing and say it one more time. Look, you need to start selling your deals to retail buyers who are willing to pay top dollar for your property. Because if you want to make more profit this year, then you need to sell your deals to retail buyers, not cash buyers. And there's 2 main ways to do so. 1, we can list our deals in MLS with a flat fee service, or 2, we can wholesale these deals. If we have the MLS strategy, which is the way that we can list these on MLS with a flat fee service, is you can actually list your property on the MLS on behalf of the seller without ever having to buy it. So essentially, we're wholesaling it on the retail market. The average deal size for this method is about $25,000 to $35,000. The other strategy is a wholesale strategy, which is where you use private money to buy the property, clean up the inside a little bit, and then list it right back on the market. And this property takes max 30 days to basically clean the property, get prepped to go list, then 30 to 60 days to sell and close it. The average minimum deal size that I'm allowing, the minimum I'm allowing is 50K. Now, do these strategies require a little bit more work than just shooting a generic text blast or email blast to your buyers list? Yeah, they do. But I don't know, dude, if you're not willing to put in slightly more work to take your average deal size from 10,000 to 30,000, then you're probably going to end up out of business anyways. So let me use a real world example of how this strategy saved my entire business. So remember I told you I closed 6 deals for $520,000 when we changed to the Dallas market, which is an average deal size of $86,000 per deal. Is that way above market average? Yes, it is. But I want to use this Dallas example to make a point. All those deals were sold to a retail buyer because we were listing our deals on the MLS and we were doing some wholesales as well. If I would have done what a typical wholesaler does and just sold them cash to a cash buyer and moved on, I think I would have been lucky to walk away with 200K. And 200K I think is a good scenario. Now the difference between $520,000 and 200K is $320,000 in pure profit. Whoa. So selling to retail buyers pulled me out of one of the darkest holes that I've honestly ever been in, because what it did was it made us a lot more money. It allowed us to put our bank accounts back up because we're focused on what would actually make us the most profit, not just taking some quick offer to close the deal, but selling it to the person who's willing to pay the most. So let me paint you a little bit of a picture here. So let's say you do 20 deals per year and you're still selling your deals to cash buyers for some reason for an average fee of 10K. 20 times $10,000 is $200,000. Where a lot of people are probably watching this video. Now, let's say you take those same 20 deals and you sold 15 of them on the MLS using a flat fee broker, and you took 5 of them down yourself and wholesaled them. Then you would do 15 times 30 is 450. Then wholesale 5 at 50K, that's 250K. That's $700,000 revenue. The difference between 700 and 200 is $500,000 of pure profit that you add to your business by just simply changing the way that you sell your deals. You put in the same effort, you work the leads the same way, you spent the same exact amount of money on marketing, and you made $500,000, $500,000 more. It's not back of the napkin math. This is like actual real stuff because I actively do this. It's not uncommon for our one-on-one clients to just double their business in 90 days after just the way they change how they dispo their deals, right? It's pretty simple. Now, you can have all the right stuff, but if you don't stay ahead of the curve, you don't focus on this one thing, then you're going to really lose out, right? And so what I want to tell you is revenue is vanity, because this really hit me hard. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash is king. The only reason I've been able to make it to this point by staying ahead of the curve is because I've had the cash to learn these painful lessons myself. And so my dad always told me, and this is kind of a funny saying, but it's the truth, is he always says is some people have to learn the hard way and others have to learn the harder way. And so, me being hard-headed myself is I had to naturally learn the hardest way. And I fell into this trap because all the thought leaders that I was listening to, all the people in the market that talk about deals, right? More deals, more revenue, more team. Well, naturally, I was like, I want to be like those guys. They seem successful. So I did the same. And it forced me to live on the hamster wheel of stress, frantically looking for my next deal, and ultimately making decisions with short-term thinking. We all know that's bad. And this led me to inflating my marketing budgets, growing my team unnecessarily, adding layers of complexity, and hoping just more deals alone would solve my profit problem. But here's what I discovered after years in the trenches, is when everyone is zigging in one direction, you have two choices. You can join the masses chasing revenue and watching your profits shrink, or you can do something a little bit different and you can zag. That's why I created the Profit First system, because it allowed me to stop drowning in complexity. It started allowing me to make the income that I deserved and finally build a business that served my life, not the other way around, right? And so I built a business that taps into the untapped marketing channels, not the overcrowded ones, runs lean and automated, not bloated and complex, generates consistent profit, not just revenue. And so here's why this matters. Because in 2022 and 2023, my best friend Tyler went on a 2-year sabbatical after he became financially independent. And the big question was that he was trying to figure out, is like, dude, everyone talks about becoming financially independent, and then no one truly uses it. So he spent 2 years to try to answer this question. And I watched my friend become increasingly less fulfilled in life, right? I would even argue quite sad, depressed, lonely, and he was quite bored, right? But what we both realized through this process was there was something simple. Is as a high achiever, you're never really going to retire, right? At least for me. The day that I stop working towards a goal is the day that I'm going to die, right? After I achieved my first goal in life, which was becoming a state champion in high school wrestling, I didn't have a goal for the next year or two. And it was like the most unhappy and most unsatisfied times that I've been alive. Like there was just nothing that I was making progress towards. And so my takeaway from this is that I have to build a business that I can use to run at my forever pace by operating it and that I enjoy. And that's why I built the Profit First system, because it provides me with low stress and high margins. It minimizes my overhead and maximizes my profit. It gives me the freedom to travel and take time off whenever I want. And it's ultimately a business that serves my life, right? And so while other people are chasing volume and muddy waters, I'm building something different, a streamlined operation that generates real wealth, not just revenue. Because look, guys, being rich is great, but being rich and actually enjoying your money is like 10 times better. And I've fully stopped chasing revenue. The only thing I care about now is profit, and that's because I've experienced all the highs and lows in the business. And I wish I found this model sooner. It took me 18 months of self-reflection, self-discovery to even just figure and put this piece of the puzzle out, right? So what I don't want you to do is look back in a year from now, wishing you started focusing on what really matters, and that's profit. So if you're ready to have us install the Profit First system inside of your business, hesitating to make a change in your business, and just go book a call with our team right now. Look, this is the best system for driving profit, removing complexity, and allows you to build a consistent and predictable business. So if you're tired of being on the revenue roller coaster, go book a call now. And then for those of you who are interested, but still have some questions, let me address a few concerns you may have about leveraging the Profit First system in your business. So look, first question is, can I keep my current marketing channels? Let me be crystal clear. If your current marketing is producing a 5x ROI or higher, keep running them. We do not fix what's not broken, right? I'm not in the business of fixing what ain't broken. But if for whatever reason, you're getting consistent returns and you do want to explore adding YouTube ads to multiply your success even further, or you're struggling to hit that 5x ROI benchmark, we do have two options. One, we can optimize your current channels until they perform. Or two, we can pivot to a channel with proven results that's worked for tons of our clients, right? So we've worked with 250 plus wholesale operations in every market. We've learned what's successful and what's not successful with each channel. And we're able to basically mold that to your business to pick the right one for you, because we know how to maximize ROI. We know how to find it, right? And so that's why we're going to look at your entire operation first, your market dynamics, your team strength, your current results, and your growth goals. And we're going to build a custom strategy that encompasses all of that makes sense for you and your business. So sometimes that means adding YouTube ads. Sometimes it means optimizing what you already have. But our focus is simple, and it's just getting you a predictable 5x ROI on every marketing dollar you spend. Next question is, do I need to change my CRM or current systems? Absolutely not. The Profit First system works with your existing setup. While we do, yes, offer our own systemized, streamlined, fully custom built out CRM, it's completely optional. So think of it like this. We're here to add proven strategies to your business. We're not here to force you to rebuild from scratch. Now, I will say, if your CRM does not have automated KPI dashboards, automatic follow-up, and maybe, for whatever reason, you just don't want to switch, you do want to switch your CRM because you're using Podio and it loads too slow, switching is easy. My team will move all your data over, set up all the tech, and teach you how on your team to use it in the new CRM and get you operating there in as little as 7 days, right? Now, if you do want to keep your current CRM, we do have recommendations that will make it easier, and we'll tell you exactly how to implement those in your system to make sure it's set up correctly, right? But we built a system that adapts to your business, not the other way around. So for most of you guys, I know you're not tech savvy. So that's why we built this thing as plug and play, because we've developed and tested this in our own wholesale operations first. We refined it across hundreds of deals, and then we stripped away everything that doesn't just directly drive profit. So when you get access, you get instantly proven follow-up campaigns, simple performance dashboards, and ready-to-use systems, because we've already built the CRM for a lean and profitable business. You just got to log in and start closing some deals. So you can see Justin's like using it, got 3 contracts this month so far. Just to add in, isn't the MLS dispositions method complicated? So the answer to that is, it is a little bit more complicated, but there's also some more context to you that I want to share with you. So let me share the moment that this really all changed for me. Is I resisted listing my wholesale deals for months, right? The paperwork seemed confusing, and I was worried that sellers would just want to list with a realtor instead. Then this one deal came around that crushed my limiting beliefs forever. We had this $42,000 assignment fee that was on the line, a potential home run with 14 interested buyers who wanted to go walk the property. There was one pretty big problem. The seller's filing bankruptcy in 14 days and just wouldn't allow showings. That was tough. $42K, dude won't allow anyone in there. No buyers willing to buy it signed unseen. So my heart, I had to give him a call, right? And when I called him, your heart's right. I'm sure you guys have been there. I just shot it straight with him, bro. I was like, dude, I got to get 19 people in here so we can guarantee this close. Make sure we get you the money and you don't have to file bankruptcy, and we get this thing closed out for you. Now, there was some framing in there that we can go over. But the point was, his only question was, does the price change? And is the closing date the same? I was like, nah, dude, we're all good. Everything's gonna be exactly the same as what we had previously. He goes, cool, send me their names. And then 2 weeks later, we made 42 grand. And that's when it hit me, is sellers only care about 2 things, their price and their timeline. Nothing else matters. So why don't they just list with a realtor? Simple. Most realtors want sellers to spend $15,000, $20,000 on repairs. They're gonna let property sit on 90 days plus on market. They don't know how to handle complicated situations. They don't understand motivated sellers and how to help them out. But we solve all those problems and give a hassle-free solution and a guaranteed number to sellers, right? And so since that first deal, we've closed hundreds by listing them less. My business partner, one of Level Up's coaches alone, has facilitated over 600 of these deals in 2024 alone. And so the process is dead simple. We pitch the sellers on a retail method. We get them to agree on a price and a process. We answer the buyer calls. We collect bigger checks, and we repeat this process. Since we've done so many of these, we simplified the framework, scripted all the explanations of title or to the sellers, making it easy to make bigger profits with less stress, right? So you can see we just helped Robert get his first MLS strategy deal closed. He got a full cash offer listed from the listing live the same day, and it's closed on the 29th. Pretty sick, right? So how do you actually go about implementing this system? What I want to say is, before I get into this, I want to make something super clear, and I cannot stress this enough, is there is not just one thing that makes the profit first system work, right? It's not about throwing money at ads. It's not about giving offers. It's not about listing deals on MLS. There's a system. It's a full congruent system that works together, and all the pieces work in unison. So it's like an F1 car. Even if one piece is missing, it could lead to disaster. So it could take hundreds of hours if you try to piece together this entire system on your own, not to mention you never built it before. My belief is anytime you do something for the first time, you're going to suck at it. And that's just the thing I embody. That's why I always go and say, who can help me with this problem? Not how do I do this, right? Like the most important resources we use, the SOPs, the frameworks, all this kind of stuff, no one else in the industry really even has access to it, right? This is my life's work. This is all custom. After scaling my own company to $3 million per year and spending millions in marketing, testing every strategy in the book, and serving 250 plus clients, we boiled this process down to an exact science, right? And so, we helped Josh has his largest profit month, 40K, right? The second thing I want to say is this is not another course or fluff-filled mastermind event. This is a hands-on coaching and implementation process, right? So we're here to teach you the exact system we're currently using to do over $150,000 a month in profit. So what you're going to get access to is inside our private Discord channel. You're going to have access to a team of experts who all, by the way, have their own 7-figure plus businesses who are going to guide you through each step, right? So teaching the exact strategies that, are working for us at this very moment, reviewing your data and metrics to provide you feedback, helping you further optimize your business for profit, looking over your shoulder as you implement, answering your questions in your private channel every single day. Essentially, what we're going to be doing is we're going to say, hey, you need to do this in your business to get it to the next level. Go do it. We'll come back. We'll make sure you did it right. And then we'll move on to the next piece, right? The gap between where you're at and where you want to go is the difference between what's in your brain and what's on paper. And our job is to make sure you get things out of your brain and onto paper and into reality. So you'll get access to our entire private C-suite. We don't just tell you what to do. We show you how to do it. We critique your work and help you avoid the costly mistakes, right? Example, we had someone trying to spend $6,000 on a CRM. when they were doing like $20,000, $30,000 a month. We're like, dude, don't do that. Use this money on inbound leads and you're going to way higher return. Very simple, but having it as a sounding board, you can just make better decisions. And so unlike typical courses and masterminds where you're basically left to figure things out on your own, we're just learning based on theories. We're actually here to work alongside you to ensure your implementation is correct and actually works. So you'll get direct feedback on your marketing strategy, your sales process, your sales calls, your dispo process, your system optimization, your team building, leadership, all the different things that you need to grow your team successfully and profitably. That way you have focused implementation and support to help you build the system that you truly understand and can scale independently, right? We're teaching you how to fish, not giving you fish, right? And so the difference between driving revenue and profit is that driving revenue is really kind of like a focus on just doing the right work, right? But when you focus on driving profit, you're doing the right work perfectly, right? And so Cal Ripken says is practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. And so that's what we're here to do. So you want to build a profitable business, you got to do everything perfectly. And that's what our job is to make sure you do. And so even Tyler says down here is like, this is going to sound like an exaggeration, but it's not. It's just joining Level Up literally changed my life. I used to do deals and I wore every single hat in the business, which resulted in long hours and subpar results. And after learning the systems Level Up teaches, I quickly built an actual business that runs without me. It makes triple what it used to when I was a one-man show. And just as a side note, I was talking to Tyler yesterday. He called me and we were talking. He's like, dude, I'm literally not needed by my team. I literally feel useless and I'm not sure like what to do. And we have this whole other problem that is created when you have a system and a team that works around your vision, that works in the right business model, that's worked in the right markets, it does big deals, it's highly profitable, commission only, all this kind of stuff. You create unique problems in your life of trying to figure out like, what's my purpose now? Like, what do I spend my time doing? And what, Tyler's experiencing is success in the form of he now has an automated business, right? And so the next phase of that is optimizing your life, man. Like at the end of the day, it's like you're making tons of money. Like let's enjoy your life. But with this being said, it's like I like to formally invite you to book a call below and speak with me or one of my team members about how we can install the profit first system inside of your business today. And look, I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and worked with 250 plus different wholesalers and flippers, spent 5+ years of my life perfecting the system in my own company. Trust me, when I tell you that this is the best way to build a consistent, lean, and insanely profitable wholesale and flipping company that allows ultimate time freedom, I'm not just saying that. It's like literally what I'm doing and actively how I live my life, right? It's like to travel. I like to hang out with my friends. I like to have great experiences, right? Work is just a means to an end. It allows me to live my life. But anyways, look, I can spend the rest of my time here explaining how the process works and how quickly you can hit record high profit months consistently. But at the end of the day, here's what you're going to get from working with us, right? So our process is pretty simple. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a full review over your entire business to understand your current process, your current marketing channels, your team structure, what market you work in. We need to understand where you have been in order to figure out where you need to go, right? So what does your ideal business look like? What markets are you in? What marketing channels are best for you? How many deals do you want to do per month? What does your team look like? What does your ideal profit look like? And ultimately, how do we build the business around your picture perfect life? And so this will help us identify the biggest areas for growth as we basically get on the same page for what your success looks like for working together. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take you through the manufacturing line exercise. And based on your goals and overall vision for the company, we're going to reverse engineer your picture perfect business and basically say, how do we start laying the foundation for this to become a reality? So we're going to give you a step-by-step process on how to do this, right? So while our system is a step-by-step guide to growth, with every business, we understand it's still different, right? So we're going to be creating a custom game plan based on all the information that we've gathered about your business from our business review and based on our manufacturing line KPIs, basically to build you a game plan on how much money do you need to spend on marketing per month, how many leads do you need to generate, how many offers do you need to give, how many contracts do you need to get signed, how many deals do you need to close, and what does your average profit per deal need to be? And so you can see that after like an hour and a half long session with a client, this is what their sheet looks like. It's marked up. But what's very simple is you have right here, it says actions, and there's a list. You just check it off. And that's how it works, right? Is we break down all this complexity and we give it to you very simple on a silver platter so you know exactly what to do, right? And so this way you're able to have a crystal clear idea on what you need to do to grow your business and what needs to be achieved in order to create a lean team that generates profit hand over fist each month. So no more guesswork, no more new strategies, just clear actionable plans that actually produce results, right? And so the next thing we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be building and installing the profit first system for you, where we're going to guide you through our step-by-step SOPs to build the business the right way with the right systems. And so this custom end-to-end business system is meticulously crafted to create a business that removes all the complexity and focuses on driving consistent profit. So one of the things we actually asked Joseph, what's the biggest area of improvement that he's seen in his business since joining Level Up? And he's like, where do I start, man? Basically, his answer is, I would say the biggest thing for me is improvement in lead gen and processes. But really what I'm getting out of this is being able to learn things really quickly, the right way the first time. Whereas if I just did everything on my own, it would just take me so much longer to learn and I'd make a lot more mistakes along the way. Like, sure, yeah, like regardless, I'm going to make mistakes, but I'm making mistakes on the right path that's proven to work, right? So look, guys, our team of experts will be looking into your business. Our team of experts is a bunch of 7-figure business owners, right? These are legit guys. And then obviously I'll be looking as well. But we're looking at currently what you're doing inside of your business that's already working. Then we're going to create a custom tailored plan that can be used to systemize, automate, and increase overall profitability of your business from day one. So the best part of this is that you're going to no longer have to guess. There's going to be no more throwing ideas at the wall and they stick. There's going to be no more watching your bank account fluctuate every single month. And at the end of the day, we're going to get you out of that wholesale purgatory where every month feels like an endless battle just to chase your next deal. Because I've been there and I know what that feels like and it's not fun. So we're going to be giving you a proven playbook that if you follow it, you will consistently make logging into your checking account feel like Christmas morning. It's not going to be this painful thing where you're like, man, I don't want to look at my bank account, because I've been there. I watched a bank account drop substantially. And it's like this. It's like your stock account over the last couple of days when XRP dropped, if you guys are in the crypto markets. But look, guys, this is not like a coaching program. It's not a course. It's not a watered down mastermind. We're not going to just overwhelm you with information just to kind of leave you to figure this out on your own. You're going to have our business model copied and pasted into your business, and you're going to see how some of the most profitable wholesale businesses in the space are using it. You're going to get access to our highly trained team of experts who have worked with hundreds of wholesalers and flippers to build their own 7-figure companies, who will be guiding you through each step of the process, right? And so here's what Micah said is like, these guys are high-level killers. I respect their professionalism and assassin-like approach to managing and scaling wholesale companies. I've grown immense amounts in my short time with them, and I will be continuing to work with them in their community to further stabilize and grow my wholesaling operation. So once we've gotten the Profit First system installed, up and running in your business, we're going to continue to work with you one-on-one to refine the system, optimizing it with you weekly to get you a higher return on your investment. We'll be reviewing your marketing performance, reviewing your sales calls, helping you list your deals in MLS, and even show you how to continue to delegate the management of your business to other A players so you can have more of the time freedom that you want. And ultimately, this means that you're never going to be alone in the process, right? So you have a C-suite behind you, beside you, and we're in a united front with you. Some are relying on under-skilled and under-reliable team members, overseas VAs, and working 60, 70 plus hours a week to run your business. We are just one message away from solving any bottleneck or problem that you're experiencing, because we've experienced them all. And so Level Up's been instrumental in helping Ken move his wholesale business forward. The access to Chandler and his team has been fantastic. They are always there to answer a question when needed, right? So it took us KPI tracking to a whole new level, pinpointing what he needed to focus on. That's not all, because once we've streamlined your business and cash is flooding into your pockets, you're likely to run into a team management and delegation problem. So once you get the business set up, you got to build a team, right? And so let me share with you something crucial about building real freedom in your business is even after you've streamlined operations and cash is flowing, there's one final hurdle, and that's truly letting go of controls. I've seen it countless times because owners think that they've delegated, but they're still jumping in to close every big deal. They're still micromanaging team decisions, and they're still becoming the bottleneck to growth. And after managing of teams of 20 plus employees, I've learned the hard truth is systems alone are not enough. You need a proven management framework that allows you to step away. And so like, for example, with Dwayne, is he's been involved with Level Up for a couple of years now, and he says a great high-level mastermind that can teach you how to run a successful business. And a very important note is become a top-level operator. And that's why we created the Level Up management system. Because the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna help you build your dream team using our proven hiring process. We're gonna outline clear definitions of roles and success metrics. We're gonna have our proven and tested interview framework. We're gonna do personality assessments to make sure that you have a culture fit for your team, because that's the most important piece. You're gonna have a 30, 60, 90-day onboarding blueprint to follow. So you know how to hire slowly and fire fast, right? Then we're gonna install our complete management structure for you in your business. We're gonna get a simple meeting structure to hold your team accountable. You're gonna have a daily, weekly scorecard review that drives performance and profit. Our sales management process that you're gonna get and copy into your business to where, that we use to run a multi-7-figure sales team. You're going to get to copy that exact same thing into your business. You're going to get all the leadership training that we've had from 8-figure operators and as well as directly from us, right? And this is what it creates, right? It creates an environment where your team becomes truly autonomous. They own their processes end to end. Problems get solved without your involvement, right? Growth happens there, whether you're there or not. And the result is you actually have a business that finally serves you, not the other way around, right? There's no more being the emergency response button for your company. You just have a well-oiled machine that runs better when you actually focus on the vision and the growth of the company than doing the little day-to-day things, because your team, you actually get in your team's way. That's what happens when you have A players, right? These strategies and lessons cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn and millions of dollars and mistakes to perfect. So tons of money. And I'm going to be able to give you all the lessons without the scars that it gave me to learn them. And so here's what Drew said is Chandler and his team provided a wealth of knowledge. And if you are humble, willing to learn and put the work in, you will have success. 6 months ago, I was losing $30K every 2 months. He was struggling to hit $100,000 in monthly revenue consistently. He had no team, no processes, no systems. And Chandler helped him, that was me, I'm Chandler. I helped him define his processes, hire his first employee, and find consistent revenue. Now we are consistently around $200K in revenue per month. And this month when he wrote this, they did $360K in total revenue with like 2 team members, right? A lot of profit, right? And he would not be in this position. He said he would not be in this position if he did not decide to work with myself and my team. So let me show you something that took me years to understand about building real wealth in business. Is working alone in entrepreneurship is the biggest trap. So while we can accomplish a lot from behind our screens, typing away, there is untapped power in surrounding yourself with other high-level operators who see opportunities you might miss, who have connections that you might not have, who put you one call away from any problem you need solved. That's what your connections and your network does. That's why in 2025, we're creating something a bit different, right? So we're having exclusive mastermind events in Cabo, Vail, Nashville, Denver, and they aren't about boring PowerPoints and endless lectures. They're really there to design to build real connections, strategic partnerships, and help you break through that, in your business, walk through the walls in your business, that these things can only actually happen. These connections can only happen when ambitious entrepreneurs come together, right? This is my opinion. So this is me with some of our clients at one of the events we did. And for me personally, I've spent over $500,000 on masterminds, events, coaching, all this kind of stuff. But the thing that's shortcutting my success the most is the relationships that I've built over the years. And that's why we're building Level Up REI differently. This is not just about systems and strategy. It's about creating a community of winners who want to push each other forward and get the best out of each other, right? We're here to win. We're here to grow together. So when you join us, you're getting access to more than just the Profit First system. You're getting connected directly with our 7-figure C-suite, our United Front. You're getting access to each of the proven operators who scaled their own business to 7 figures in the community. And basically your challenges become our challenges, right? Your goals are now our goals. We're a united front here. We're not interested in a one and done transaction. We're building long-term relationships with entrepreneurs who want to build profitable businesses and live extraordinary lives. There's no hidden agenda here. There's no equity grabs. There's no monthly retainers. There's no surprise fees. We just have pure value and support to give to you. Here's the only catch. It's because we do provide such hands-on and customized support, and we can only work with a limited number of established operators each month. If this is you, I do invite you to book a call down below. You'll be asked a few questions that you need to answer so we can understand your business, allowing us to come prepared to our call with specific strategies for your situation. Once you book, you'll get access to our library of 100 plus, actually it's hundreds, almost probably over 1,000 at this point, case studies and testimonials from our clients who transform their operations using our systems. But I don't want you to let another month go by where you just watch your business underperform. So if you're ready to build something truly exceptional, just book your call now, because we're going to show you exactly how the Profit First system can transform your operation into the profit machine you always knew it could have been. I'll see you guys on the call. Peace. Hey guys, so really quick, I want to share some results from our recent client survey that we did, where we found that we added an additional $196,693 per year to our clients' businesses. And this isn't by telling them to go and spend tons of more money and bloat their business just to get the revenue numbers up. No, this is going through a simple 7-step process that we call the guide to growth that helps them go and make more money in their business without having to spend another dollar. All we're about. And so I'm going to share with you a little bit about what this guide to growth actually is here on my screen. All right, guys. So taking a look at the guide to growth, it's honestly super simple because all we have to do is troubleshoot in your business to find out where the actual problem is. And since we've broken it down into 7 sectors, into a wholesale business, into a manufacturing line, lead to net to appointment, appointment to offer, offer to contract, contract to sold deal, and average deal size, all we have to do is understand compared to industry standard, compared to our clients' results, where do you stack up? And then for something as simple as deal sizes, if you're not 10% of median home price, then you should be able to get it to 10% of median home price. So if it's $350,000 like in Atlanta, your average deal size should be $35,000 plus or minus a little bit. And so if you're not, we're going to identify that. We're going to come down to the guide to growth and understand where the KPI targets should be, what are the core variables, and what are some possible solutions. And we would do something like this, where we'd hand you an SOP and hold your hand and implement it with you step by step on how to buy deals for less, how to sell deals for more, and how to flip higher price point homes so that you can increase your average deal size and release your bottleneck. All we're going to be focused on is growing your company without spending another dollar. And so if this is something that you're interested remotely at all, where we'd come into your business and show you exactly how we'd implement the guide to growth for you, then all you need to do is go down below this video, click the link to book a call with our team, where we'll walk you through step by step on our roadmap of how we grow your company utilizing our process. So if that's interesting at all, go down below this video and click the link, book a call with our team. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one.